necessarily for the neighborhood. It seems to be for other folks. And those other folks will come. I mean, folks are going to use that bike park and they'll spend some money here and everything, but I recognize there are a lot of folks in the neighborhood who want something else. Wayne?
This all sounds wonderful. Great place. But unfortunately, we have a legislature in Springfield that appropriates money.
Yep.
And they can't seem to get along.
Yep.
So all of this.
So some of this doesn't depend on the legislature.
Okay.
Right?
Great.
A lot of this does require money. And a lot of this probably will require new revenue sources. Right? Again, at the end of the document, we have a whole section on possible ideas for revenue sources. We don't make a recommendation, simply that we need to figure this out, and that's something we'll be working on next year. But every user of the system should pay if we want these guys' improvements. So that means the tour boat operators, the barge operators, the folks that own property along the riverfront, the folks that use it for kayaking and paddling. So we need a diverse revenue stream and a way to have some local revenues that we can control and use to match state and federal grants. There are also some state and federal programs that, for whatever reason, Chicago currently is not written into the eligibility for it. We're looking to expanding some of those programs so Chicago use it. The state of Illinois has a riverfront reinvestment program that right now Aurora, Rockford, Peoria, East St. Louis, and Elgin use. If you just read the letter of the program, Chicago, probably different areas of Chicago would totally meet the criteria of the program, but it's specific to those specific communities. So we're looking at adding in Chicago, maybe even a couple of schools. And that program actually just creates tax credits. So if you're doing development, redevelopment, you pay no state sales tax on construction materials or things like that. Right? So it's not actually money that the state's paying, it's just relief from taxes, which is an incentive.
Yes.
John, I want to invite Clayton up to talk a little bit about his vision for the port, and you can ask him some questions.
Well, this question is to you.
All right, good.
UIC, the Metropolitan Reclamation District, are studying the sediments in the Chicago River downtown, which hopefully will bring about a clearer understanding of how they can afford to dredge those bottom sediments. Back to your cleaner water question, so that the benthic environment is such that it's healthy for the bottom feeding fish that are yada. Are there any studies developing, any on track for our south side rivers so we can get the necessary dredgings done so we have a bottom river that's clean?
So we have recommended addressing contaminated sediments, doing a comprehensive study of all of the rivers in the whole system to understand the hot spots, if you will, and then to identify whether, because if you dredge, you got to put that stuff somewhere, right? Is capping a better option in some locations? Or what is the right solution in these different locations? So yes, contaminated sediments are out there because if we improve water treatment at the treatment plants, if we improve combined sewer overflows, we don't do anything about the contaminated sediments, we'll still have this background pollution.
Well, we have a quarry now open, so the CSO should be a much diminished problem.
Correct. Yes, sir, and then
So-
Clayton for the point.
Included in your recommendations to the city, are you guys including the need for funding for additional or to support existing infrastructure as well as to reinvest in existing infrastructure that might be disrupted as a cause of this? So again, for example, just to make sure that everybody here understands what I'm saying, if this project goes through and we start to make more use of the rivers right here on the southeast side, and we have a lot of old dilapidated bridges and we're expecting them to be used a lot more often, are you guys also recommending that we're going to be able to get funding to start to do some of those repairs that are needed on the existing infrastructure?
There's a whole section on essentially Chicago trying to use its clout to advocate for infrastructure improvements in the rivers, getting the congressional delegation to go to bat for bridge repairs, shoreline, either reconstruction into more naturalized areas or shoring up the existing shoreline. This stuff with either dredging or capping is not going to be cheap.
And would that be something that in your plan and your vision, would that be something that the local communities also have a say over?
If we actually implemented everything that we've scoped out here, and And so we had this river system-wide regional leadership group with local representation on that group, and then a local leadership group, then yes. In our perfect world, then yes.
Okay, that's
Okay?
fine.
In the perfect world that we have articulated in our vision.
The reality, probably not.
Yes, but we're gonna push for that. All right, Clayton was very nice to come down. I'm happy to take more questions afterwards, but Clayton, come on out. So Clayton was just hired as the new executive director of Port District. Port District obviously is a very large footprint here in the area. So he's fresh on the job. I was happy to come out tonight and say hi, take a couple questions, and tell you what he's getting up to here in the first couple weeks. Take it away.
Hi,
There you go.
I am the new executive director for the Port District. A lot of things that have been going on, a lot of things that should be going on maybe and haven't been, and a lot of things that have been going on that some people probably are not in agreement with. So my first couple of weeks, the one thing I can definitely tell you is that everybody's got a plan for the Port District, and that's okay. Actually, you know, and I was warned coming in, they're like, everybody's got a plan for the Port District. I want you to know that. There's the city, there's the state, there's the forest, there's the park, they're friends of, ... and I get it. I get it. And there's also a plan by the port, for the port, just so we're clear. My goal is, and especially in the first 60 days, 60 to 90 days, is to gather as much information as possible. One thing that you all can count on from me, whether you like it or not, is that I'll be brutally honest with you all. So if I know that there's no way that we're going to use something for recreation or conservation, there's no reason to pretend like we're going to do it, right? So what we do is we speak, right, and we talk about it and see what we can do to mitigate or make it as many people as happy as possible. You have to remember that the Port District, and my task at the Port District is to make the Port District viable, first and foremost. That's my task, right? All right, now, that being my task, viability can be defined in many, many ways, right? Is it viability in that we have community involvement, community enhancement, community input or whatnot? We talk about business and industry. It's a very important part of the Park District. So, Park District, or the Port District and what's going on. That's the honest truth, right? So those are things that we have to look at. So one thing that I have told everyone who's had, or who's told me that they have a plan for the Port District is, send it to me. I need to see it. I want to see it. Because perhaps they're not as dissimilar as we all think, but you're not going to know that unless you're looking at all of them. There might be some similarities in all of them that we can do. There might be some things that'll never be done, or there might be some things that people just didn't think about. I don't know. That's the truth, right? I know what I'm charged to do, and it's to make it viable and to look at different options in creating that. And I know that there's an important voice that needs to be heard, should be heard. And I also know that some folks believe that it's been maybe not as much attention to it hasn't been paid as it should, both internally and externally. So hopefully, just me being here today starts the conversation, right? Just one meeting, right? And I don't have slides or anything. I'm not really giving you anything other than saying hello, right? This is the beginning. We got something on Thursday.
We can tell them that the snacks are for you if you want.
I don't know. Are those environmentally conscious snacks? Don't put them on me. The water. But I'm here, and my goal is to get some things done positively.